Hi everyone, it's Rita, and today I am filming from my dad's office. Let me show you guys. Over there, TVs. I'm kind of having to film in a really weird way today. The lighting in here is really crappy, as I'm sure you guys can see already. There's like all this light coming from down above and there's no good place for me to sit, so I'm kind of sitting on the ground instead of on the couch. And then I have the footrest in between my legs, and then I have books and my purse holding up my phone. And then I have my iPad to give me extra lighting. So I'm having to like hold this below me like this, like a little like sunscreen type thingy. So when you see me only using this hand or one hand at a time, that's why. Anyways, today is a little bit of a story time. I had a few people that wanted me to do like story time videos, and I have a lot of stories, so you guys are gonna get a lot of these. Today's little story is gonna be about the time I broke my back. I broke my back in junior. It's kind of blurry because it was kind of a while ago, but in high school I broke my back. As not many of you know, probably, I played volleyball throughout middle, high school, and I played in college. Volleyball was kind of like my thing that I was always doing. I played middle front, so I basically had the most physically grueling job. This wasn't in school volleyball, this was club volleyball, so it was when you like have a whole team and you try out and everything. In a club team you travel around with a bunch of people from your area who tried out for the team, and you go to different tournaments and you play a lot. It's tiring. This tournament that is in question, this is my 15 and up year, I believe, if my memory serves me right. The tournament in question was a qualifier, which is basically all these teams from everywhere come to this tournament to get qualified to go play at nationals, which is basically every team that got qualified around the nation in the US goes to this tournament and they go to see who's the best, basically. So we were at a qualifier tournament and it was 4 days long, 4 wonderful days of lots of volleyball. The first day, I was a starter, so I'm constantly in the game, except for when I go back row. I was in the game. We had 3 or 4 games that day, I don't know. So the first day we played, and by the end of all of it, I was like, whoa, my back is feeling a little tight, which is nothing out of the norm. So I'm just like, let's just get some ice, because volleyball players put ice on everything. If it's sore, you put ice on it. That's like the athlete motto. Slap an ice bag on there. I get an ice bag and I go back to my hotel with my mom, because we weren't staying in hotel rooms with each other this time. We were just staying with our parents. So I'm in the hotel room with my mom. I'm like, wow, my back is just kind of tight, like whatever. So I put the ice on. It felt pretty fine after that, and I'm just like, whatever. So the next day we play, and by the end of the day, I'm just noticing that my back is like just feeling really, really tight and like tense, and I'm just like, did I like pull a muscle or something, because it's still hurting. And it wasn't like to the point where it was like pain, but it was dull, and it like was bothersome, where it's just like I'm uncomfortable. So I put more ice on it and I iced it like twice that night. So we played like 6, 7, 8 games by now, second day into this 4-day tournament. Third day comes along and I am in pain, and I'm just like, oh my god, why is my back hurting this much? Did I really pull a bunch of muscles in my back? I'm just kind of dying here. It wasn't to the point where it's unbearable yet, but it was starting to get really freaking painful. So I slapped some ice on there, because athletes, if it hurts, slap an ice bag on there. So it gets to the 4th day of this lovely championship, and we aren't anywhere close to the finals. It just didn't turn out well. Even though we were one of the top teams in Florida, like, it just did not happen. We weren't playing well. I play the first match, and I think we had 2 matches that day, so I'm just like, thank the Lord, because my back on the 4th day was just aflame. Like, I couldn't really move. Like, when I say I couldn't move, like, I had to tense every ab muscle, every muscle in this general torso area, just to muster up the strength to move one step. I'm the type of player where I do not want to be out of the game. If I'm injured, that's one thing, but if I'm still able to do something, because I don't like letting my team down since I'm one of the starters. So I'm sitting there in pain. Reminder, I play middle front, so I'm having to block on the right side, block on the left side. I'm just having to go everywhere all the time and block in the middle and always be up in the air ready. Basically, middle is a very physically taxing job. I'm having to do all that, and I can barely move, and I felt really crappy because I have to be able to block on both sides, and I was super slow. Like, I was known as one of the faster middles because I'm only 5'11", so I'm kind of short for a middle. Middles are usually like 6'1", 6'2", and up. Me, supposed to be the fast middle, I wasn't very fast because I'm sitting there just like, oh my god. I feel like I'm falling apart. And my coach is like, what's wrong with you? Because I had a very high energy coach. So I don't think she understood the possibility that I might actually be in pain. So it's not even her fault. Like, don't think that she's crazy. Like, I love her. So I come out of the game. I come out every time I get rotated to the back row. And she's just like, why are you playing like this? What are you doing? You need to be faster. Get up in the air. And I'm like, okay, coach. And I just kind of like hobble to the end of the line of players. I get through the last 2 games. There are tears in my eyes. Like, I'm not letting them fall because I'm not about to let the whole enemy team see me crying or whatnot or give any indication that I'm in pain. Like, my mom, I don't remember if my dad was there. I don't think so. But my mom was watching this game just like, oh my god, what is wrong with my daughter? Because like, she knows that my back has been hurting, so she's like, what's wrong with her? And I never had this issue before. We all thought that I pulled a muscle, but it just didn't feel good at all. I was dying on the inside. So we fly back. I think this was in Ohio. We were in Ohio for the qualifier, I believe. I go back home to Florida where I was living at the time. I'm just in pain 100% of the time. And so it finally kind of wears off. The pain kind of wanes a little bit. Practice starts up again for club. We practice 3 or 4 times a week. We come back from a qualifier, we get like a day off, and then we go back to practice. So practice starts up again, and I'm feeling good because I'm like, oh, I got some rest. My back's good to go. I am happy. I am healthy. Let's do this. I go into practice. I play for 30 minutes of practice. Our practices are usually like 2.5 hours long. I get 30 minutes into practice and I'm just not okay. At this point, I'm like, there is something very wrong with me. My club was lucky enough to have like an amazing facility. Like I said, we were either the top or one of the top club volleyball teams in Florida. So we had this amazing facility with our own trainer and our training medical room and whatnot. We even had our own gym in there. So I went and saw Sonia. She was my favorite person ever, and she was our trainer. She just assumed it was a muscle that I pulled, because you can look at a broken leg and be like, okay, yeah, that's broken. Sorry if you guys hear noise. There's people walking by. Like, I'm only in my dad's office, so obviously there's other people here. Anyways, she just thought that it was a pulled muscle because you can't look at someone's spine. To the outside eye, there was nothing wrong. There's no bruises, there's no nothing. You couldn't see what was happening. My mom and dad both are just like, you know, this isn't normal. Like, you shouldn't be feeling like this. They're just like a little bit worried at this point. So just in case, we're gonna go get a little like doctor evaluation. I go to a doctor that specializes in back area stuff. So when we go to his office, we do an x-ray, and then he does a lot of just tests and stuff to see what's going on. And he is thinking that it might be a fracture. We get the x-rays back and we look, and you can't really tell from the x-ray, but it looks like I might have a fracture in my L4, I believe it was. So that's like my lower back. And he's like, oh yeah, you might have a little fracture going on here, but we can't tell from this picture, so you should get an MRI. But it could just be a bunch of pulled muscles and you might just be overworked and you need to rest. And I'm just like, oh, see, even he's saying it. I'm in denial at this point. So I'm just basically going off of anything that says that, oh, you're gonna get back on the court. I'm just like, I don't need the MRI. But my parents were like, no, 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 you're gonna get that MRI. I'm just like, okay. If that's what it takes to get me back on the court, whatever. I go in, get my MRI done. I'm feeling confident as ever. I'm just like, I'm fine. Like, I'm walking. Like, it's not like I have a fracture in my back. Like, I wouldn't be able to walk otherwise. See, that's where I was wrong. I come home from school one day. I walk through the door. I'm just expecting, like, my mom to be sitting there on the couch watching TV or something when I come home, or just come home to an empty house or something like that, because my mom's a stay-at-home mom. I walk in the house and I see sitting on the couches my mom and my dad just sitting together, like just there. Like, that's not abnormal, but the way they were sitting there waiting for me is just really weird. They're sitting there just like, it's on some creepy horror movie stuff. I'm just like, hey guys, what's going on? Why are you guys just sitting there waiting for me? This is not like they were watching TV. They were just sitting there waiting for me to come home. Well, they're just like, hey, can you come and sit down for a minute? And I'm sitting here thinking my grandma is freaking dead. I mean, she's not here with us anymore. At the time, she was still alive, and I got really freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, my grandma died, because she is my heart and soul. And at the time, I would have just, well, I mean, I had a breakdown when I did get the actual notification that she did, but at the time, I would have just freaked out. No, I got different bad news. They sit me down and they go, so your MRI scans came back. And I'm still in denial at this point. I'm just like, oh, so I'm good to go back? And they're just like, no, you have a fracture in your spine. And I am still in denial. I'm sitting there going, that's a joke, right? Like, you're kidding. I don't have a fracture in my back. That's impossible. And they're sitting there going, you're gonna have to sit out for 3 whole months, which means I would not be going to nationals. I would not be going to HP, which is high performance, and it's basically junior Olympics. So I'm sitting there laughing and crying at the same time because I'm still in denial. I'm like, how is this happening? Like, what do you mean I have a fracture in my back? Oh my god. It was just a horrible feeling because I hate sitting out. Like, it's the worst feeling ever. I hate it so much. So I sit out for a month. And I'm the type of person that heals very quickly. I don't have much downtime because I don't need it, honestly. Most people take like a month to get back from a sprained ankle. It takes me like a week. I go to my practices still. I go and watch practice because I don't want to just not be there with my team. So I sit out for a month. I was basically like the assistant coach. A month passes of me doing nothing and I'm just like, wow, my back feels totally better, because it did. It felt amazing and I felt normal. I went through physical therapy and I got the okay from the doctor because they did another MRI and the fracture had healed. Yay! Nationals comes up. I healed basically right in time for nationals. Nationals comes up, I practice a lot, I get back in my game. I'm luckily able to bounce back really quickly. We get to nationals. Nationals is like a week-long tournament of lots of playing, just lots of craziness. As always, I'm a starter, so I'm in the game and I'm playing a lot. Middle front, lots of physical activity. I'd gone through practices and I thought, hey, I'm fine because I went through practices and nothing happened. I was wrong. First day goes by without a hitch. Not a problem, I'm thinking, yay. So I just ice my back just in case. Second day comes along, mid-game, I just feel this horrible pain in my side. I'm just like, no, 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 no. Because I don't want to come out, and my coaches are already on edge. Like, they're freaked out to play me already because I was supposed to be out for 3 months and I was already healed after 1 month. So they're just like, if you're in any pain, I'm pulling you out right then and there. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to be sitting out for nationals. Like, this is what I've been practicing for all year. I get this pain, and being the little pipsqueak that I was, I did not tell anybody because I did not want to come out of the game. What I do is I don't tell anybody and I just ice my back because it wasn't to the point where I couldn't move anymore. The third day goes by and I'm able to get through it without really showing anything, except for one of my coaches, Gibby, Stephanie Gibson. I call her Gibby because that's what we all call her. And she kind of like was keeping an eye on me because she bonded, so I know her pretty well. And she knows me pretty well, and she can tell when I'm in pain because I don't really show many signs of pain, but she's seen me in pain before, so she knows. So she's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm totally fine. This chick is lying. She's like, okay, alrighty then. If you say so. If you're hurting, I'm taking you out of the game. I'm like, okay, I'm okay. So I just ice my back and I'm able to like get through the third day. Fourth day comes around and I'm just like, I'm not even okay. And at this point in nationals, we were doing so bad that it didn't even matter. As bad as that sounds. I don't like losing, but I'm not also trying to break my back. So I'm just like, yo, I'm in pain. Because it got back to the point where it was in so much pain that I couldn't move anymore. And I was basically semi-paralyzed. I wouldn't say I was actually paralyzed because I could still have feeling in my back and legs and everything, but I was slightly numb and I was in so much pain that I couldn't even move. So they just completely take me out. They're like, you're done. Like, there's no point. We're not winning any trophies here. So you're done. And that was that. I stopped playing volleyball the whole summer. I didn't play anymore. I got like a good rest in and I went back to playing in high school the next year. To this day, I still have like some aches now and then, but I'm perfectly fine now. I don't play sports anymore for that reason. I'm not trying to become a invalid old lady in the future. That's the story of how I broke my back. That's not my only injury. I've sprained ankles, I've broken my arm. I don't even remember. I've done a lot of things. Lots of ankle sprains, a lot of like hurt wrists, hands, my knee dislocates. Just normal volleyball stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my story and I hope you guys tune in for the next video. I'm gonna be putting out videos every Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST. That's 11 a.m. PST, my time over here in Oregon. I look forward to it and I hope you guys really enjoyed my lovely story about my back. I'm perfectly fine now, so don't worry. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next week. Bye!